Good morning. Um, I'm I'm actually sick today, so I'm gonna hopefully keep this one short. But at the same time, the subject matter may make this run a little long. Um, Today is my father's birthday. He would have been 60 years old. Um, so really, I mean, I could just sit here and say I'm grateful for my dad of having had him in my life because they don't make them like that anymore. But it's three things I'm grateful for. So I'm gonna do the three things I'm grateful that he instilled in me. Number one, a sense of humor. I see it now that my whole family is funny. My sisters, my mother, the extended family, we're all funny, I'd say. Um, but I first noticed it with him because he was such a joyful man. Um, he was the one who told the silly jokes. One of the ones I remember growing up. What's this one? Or. It's a seal of approval. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Um, the seal of approval. I'd always joke with like, "Hey, Dad, did you know that such and such a thing happened?" No, but if you hum a few bars, I'll try to fake it. They weren't classics, but he always got his kids laughing. And I remember I always wanted to make him laugh. Because he could make me laugh. I wanted to make him laugh. And I never could. And it's not like he didn't think I was funny, but if I told a joke, he would just play along with it. But he wouldn't laugh. It wasn't until we started working together about 5 years ago that he would laugh at stuff that I would say. And I realized afterwards, that it was because he played with his kids, but he laughed with his friends. So once we started working together, we had that new relationship. He was always my dad, but, it was more of a buddy-buddy thing when we were working together. So we would laugh together. It was really nice. So that's number one. Number two, I'm grateful for the musicianship he instilled in the family. Music was a big part of his life growing up. He learned to play percussion at a very young age, played in bands, for as long as I could remember. Just like, cover bands, bar bands, things like that, and then praise bands as he got older at his church. But all three of his kids sing. My sisters play instruments. I think my younger one not as much anymore, but they worked on learning instruments, and I sang, and it was just that love of music. I mean, this is a guy who, when he learned he had cancer, filled out one of those, not a living will, but it's called 5 Wishes. And it's like, how do you want to be treated? How do you want to, one of the questions was, do you have a specific request for the music to be played at your service? and he just wrote all Beatles all the time. I have no problem with that. I thought that was wonderful. And I remember, because I was one of the executors to hang on to that, and I remember early on going, wouldn't that be something if I were to ask him maybe if I could sing In My Life by the Beatles? I thought it would be a wonderful song, and and how do you ask that? How do you go up to someone, hey, I know you're not gonna die right now, but when you do, it's like, no, he was fighting so much. There came a point where he just stopped fighting. So that's when the inevitability started coming up, and he was there while we were talking about his funeral arrangements. And we were joking about soloists. Someone else had put in an offer, and it's someone that the family did not get along with. It's just like, we don't want her. And my dad piped in with, I would like someone to sing In My Life. That's literally what happened. I said I would do it. And no one was really excited about that idea. They're just like, are you sure? And I said, I don't know why, but something tells me that I am. There was precautions. They put lyrics in the program, in a little card that you get. That way, if I couldn't do it, then we could all sing it together. Somehow I managed. I think it was like it was like my brain compartmentalized. I didn't grieve like that whole week until after I finished the song. It was like that part of my brain that had a job to do was working overtime. I was working with one of my best friends who plays piano and knew the song by heart. And that's how, I don't know what it was. I knew that I had to do this. This was what I could give, and each of us kids contributed something. My younger sister read a Bible verse. My older sister read a poem, and I sang, we gave the gifts that we could, for this man. And I'll never forget that, he was a good man who deserved to be recognized in a good way, and that's what we did. Because, and I put the music together, and tons of Beatles music. I remember, my friend walks in and says, wow, you don't usually hear Revolution at a funeral. And I was, he liked the rock music, fine. I didn't put Yesterday on there, because I knew he didn't like that song. I didn't put Helter Skelter on there, or Revolution 9, because I'm not an idiot. But, I took all his CDs and put all this together and said, hey, these are songs that I thought would really get to the heart of the man. And if you were there, I hope you liked it. Number 3. Oh, that's the computer screen going off again. Number 3. And it went back on. He just was a father. Good, bad, angry, happy. He was a father first and foremost. And then he became a grandfather first and foremost. But he was so dedicated to me and my sisters, and then, my sons, my daughter, my niece, he was so dedicated to his family. And I try every day to instill, to be that kind of parent. And that kind of uncle, and hopefully it's a ways off, but hopefully that kind of grandfather as well. couple of years ago, I actually had to fight for primary placement of my kids. They were with their mom full time, but she was going through a lot, and she didn't want to admit that she was going through a lot, and she didn't want to give up primary of the boys. She had her reasons, whatever. I ended up having to go all the way to court, all the way for a hearing, and my dad was right in the thick of fighting cancer, but he was there. He and my mom both came to the courthouse to support me and my wife. And an addendum to grateful for the fatherhood that he taught me is I'm extremely grateful that he got to see that those grandkids that he actually spent a couple of years raising when neither me nor my ex-wife were in a position to take care of them. He actually raised those boys for 3 years. Ended up homeschooling one for about a semester. But he got to see them go to a place that he knew they'd be safe. He knew that they'd be taken care of. And I'm glad he got to see. Okay. I think I'm going to have to call this pretty quick. I don't know how much longer I can go. I was pretty damn lucky. As fathers go, I picked a good one, didn't I? I love you, Dad. Happy birthday. We'll all be by to visit later. Love to my family. Love to all of you. And hopefully you find your gratitude. And I hope you tell your loved ones how much they mean to you, because you never know when the last time will be. Namaste. Blessed be.